Coach Nix, thanks for joining me on the Weakside Help.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for reaching out.
Man, what an exciting week. Grand final week, NBL 1 West. How are you feeling right now?
I'm probably a little more chill than I expected to be at this point. I was just talking before, and we're still 3 sleeps away. So at this stage, my focus is just getting through training tonight and making sure that we prepare the right way. And if we do that, I'll definitely sleep well tonight. And if we don't, then I'll probably have a couple of sleepless nights heading into Thursday's training. But yeah, pretty chill. Looking forward to it. Very excited about the prospect of the game more than anything, because 2 really, really good teams, and you look at the records at the end of the year being the same record, and the game we played during the season was overtime. So yeah, I expect it to be a real spectacle for the fans, and a close one, which I think everyone loves, even us, as long as we come on the right way. So yeah.
Absolutely. You mentioned the fans there. The Wolfpack Army will be there.
Yep.
Bright and night in the green, nice and loud. But also you mentioned 15-3 as the record.
Yep.
What's enjoyable? Winning's fun, but what's enjoyable about coaching this group?
I think it's the relationships built over a long period of time. So if you look at the history of this squad, so Kayla Steiner came to Perth to play with the Lynx, and we're fortunate enough to recruit her to the Redbacks when I was at the Redbacks, and we had a season there where a lot of things happened within our lives, and you through shared experiences you tend to create bonds, and we lost a semi-final series by 2 points in total. So we lost game 1 by 1 point, game 2 by 1 point, and missed out on a grand final together. And and things happened, and an opportunity arose up at Wolves, and she decided that she wanted to come up with me. So this is season 4 together, and we know that she's leaving, to head over to Tasmania with her husband Clint, who's now with the Jack Jumpers. So it's just that connection you build. You want to do really well for the people within the program. Amber Land coming from Sterling, and the organisation there not necessarily showing her the love and respect for someone that had given so much time and energy to a club, and then to come in here and to have 3 fantastic seasons with us, being an all-star 5 player, and this season I think it's the best basketball she's played in a long time. And a young kid like Nashaya Parker-Williams, the development since Redbacks, and where she is now, and just such a talented, humble, just outstanding human being. Chelsea Belcher, dropping that 2016 grand final, and having that hunger, and then having a lean year, and then us coming in and building a good culture. And you build relationships with people, and at the end of the day, if we're successful on Friday night, that's amazing, and it's something we'll cherish forever. But it's those friendships and those relationships you've built with fantastic people that share the same common interest and have gone to war with you week in, week out. They're the things you hold on to. They're the things that you really stay with for long periods of time. So I feel like this is a special group. We've been through a lot together, and I might get into more detail later in the pod, but we've been through a lot, and we've grown, and we feel like we're really ready to attack this Friday night and leave it there, because at the end of the day, there's no second chance after this one. So.
Absolutely, it is one and done.
Yep.
Win or go home. And you talk about Kayla Steiner, and she's been on such a basketball career journey, and it's been fantastic. And I actually asked you a question earlier this season in your press conference, like, what does Kayla Steiner bring? And I remember your response straight away. You sort of almost laughed at me, like, what doesn't she? But what do we not see behind closed doors and off the court that she really brings that you value?
She's unbelievably competitive, and you don't really see that when you see it on the floor, but you don't see it. Like the way she drives this group and pushes this group and brings people up to the standard, is exceptional. She's very nurturing, she's very caring, but she's very hard, and she keeps people on track. And when you find a person with her humility, like she doesn't believe she's as good as she is. Okay. Like, in my opinion, and I've said this openly in a number of different forums, Kayla Steiner is the best athlete I've coached, male or female. She plays both ends of the floor, she can defend multiple positions, she can stretch, she can finish at the basket, she does the little 1% of things. she wins. Like she wants to win more than anything else. So for me, it's she leads by example, but in a really nurturing way with a knife's edge.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So she's just a unique combination of skill, a nurturing nature, and then a competitiveness. So.
And what a role model to have for the Joondalup Wolves organisation.
Oh, fantastic person. So, like I said, she's so humble. Like you're talking about a player that was drafted, in the top 25 in the WNBA. Decides to come out here, had a really solid WNBL career, and she's out here willing to sacrifice minutes and shots for her teammates so that they improve and they get better, so the team's success comes. I couldn't think of and I use the term superstar, but I couldn't think of an NBL 1 superstar that's as selfless as what she is, which is a great way it's a great example for the younger kids. Because at the end of the day, what we realise is basketball is a team sport. You need outstanding individuals, absolutely, but it's a team sport. So if you can get that 7th, 8th, 9th person believing in themselves because you're the best player in the league and you believe in them, it changes the way their whole future looks different. So
you talk about the 7th, 8th, 9th, and that's been so consistent to see in your playoffs last 2 games, how deep you've gone.
Yep.
The role that they play is so important for this.
Oh, I agree completely. And I say built, like we've built this team over a long period of time. If you look at someone like an Eleanor Hartfield who's now playing, a consistent 15 minutes a game, 2 years ago she was playing a minute. And it's just the time and energy and effort and the fact that she's had to bang against Amber Land and Kayla Steiner and Amy Kidner, when she was on the floor, like night in, night out, and she's earned every second. And when I say earned, she's earned the trust. And we know we can put her out there and she's going to do a job. And because my consistent message to players is always, when I think you're ready, you'll get the opportunity. And that builds belief in them. So when I give them, the rope, you go out and run, they know that I'm believing in them and they can go out and execute. So Lanisha Patter's another one. I've had her in my program since she was 13. Outstanding talent, super efficient scorer, but needed to develop in some maturity and obviously being 13 when she came in, and some defensive sort of accountability and just desire. And now she's starting to do that and she's really impacting, but that's taken her 4 years to get to that point. And I think that's what a lot of people outside of programs don't really. You're investing all of this time in these people over a number of years. They don't just pop up. You've got to put the time in and the energy and the effort and fill them with the belief and understanding of your system. So, we feel like we're deep, and deep's been bandied around, a lot in these playoffs, but no one plays as deep as we play. And that's really, really obvious. You look at the spread of minutes, over the whole season. We play deep.
It's interesting you mentioned minutes. No one played more than 23 minutes against the Redbacks.
Yeah, in a 42-point, qualifying final win.
Yeah.
So we believe in our players, we believe in our group, we believe in our system, and that takes time. So, it's been a journey, but every little battle that we've been in and we've lost, has helped us sort of get to this point. And, at the end of the day, you have to go through those to achieve some success. So, we have a bunch of women that are really committed to each other, and I think that's probably the key.
You talk about that commitment and the journey, and part of that I mentioned sort of in our communication that you lost Izzy Miotti early on in the season. There's lots of adversity that happens behind the scenes, and some that's played out publicly with injuries and like tough losses. Is there something that's happened behind the scenes that there's been like that struggle or that adversity that we don't know about, but it's just been something that's really brought you guys better together?
I think it's never just one thing.
Yeah,
I think it's a combination of things. So for us, we're just looking at Wolves. In 2018, we're three games clear at the top of the ladder, and Kayla Steiner was really fortunate enough to get pregnant, and she's going to have her first child. And then 2 weeks later, Amy Kidner does her first ACL, and they're our pillars. They're our posts. So, we the second half of the year we're scrounging, and we finish third. So we lose a few games in a row. We win a couple of really big games, and we go into a final series against a really strong, big Perry Lakes team. Probably the worst matchup we could have had. But we learned a lot through that series. We got our pants pulled down, and I think we lost both games by 30-something points. So we got destroyed. But that builds character, and we fought to the end, and we got a lot of minutes into some players that may not have necessarily played in those big games. And then you look at the next year with COVID, you've got a shortened season, and you stop-start with training, and you're trying to build this a culture in a small amount of time. And we were fortunate enough to come out of that season at winning, but we were able to play deep and play a lot of kids that are now playing in our team. And then Izzy Miotti was a big part of those first 2 years, and Amy Kidner coming back from her ACL, and playing the first 3 games this year, seeing Izzy do her ACL in the pre-season, you can imagine how she's feeling after seeing that. And then round 3 she does her opposite leg in an ACL, and those two, you rock up to training, rock up to games with a smile on their face, and everyone knows they want to play and they want to be a part of it, and you can't help but want to run through a wall for people like that. So I guess dealing with all those hurdles over the period of time, we've built a really resilient and strong-minded group. So we've had obviously games where Kayla hasn't been here or had foul trouble, or players have gone down and hurt injuries, and we've had Georgia Dennery here, our point guard, out for a few games, and those experiences really build confidence in the fact that one player can go down and another player is going to step up. But without those experiences, a player goes down and you feel lost. So we're just fortunate that we've been through as much as we have. It sucked at that time, like you're thinking, oh man, how are we going to get through this? But then someone like Rebecca Benson reaches out and says, Nixie, I think I want to play, and you're like, oh, what have I done right? And then Jasmine Martin, we find out still in Australia, just studying, and she was part of our team in 2019, and we just reach out and go, well, you want to come in and get up and down the floor a little bit. And I guess the relationships we built with those girls previously, Rebecca was an assistant coach with me at Redbacks, Jazz played with us in 2019. You can reach out to those people and say, look, this is the situation, this is the scenario, can't promise you anything, but you come in and you work hard, and opportunities are there. So we've been fortunate that we've built great relationships. We've got a resilient group that will stick up for each other and have confidence that no matter what happens, we can get through it. And we've got a calm bunch of coaches that have been together a long time as well, that sort of keep the ship heading in the right direction. Everyone laughs at me that I've got 10 million coaches, but I guarantee you that they all have a job to do. But yeah, we do have a lot of coaches. So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like it's been an incredible journey, and Friday will be just another, a challenge in that, and something to look forward to. They say great leaders tell great stories. Have you thought about the pre-game for Friday?
Like I said, you watch the movies, like you're always watching the movies, and you're like, well, it's 90 feet of the floor and it's a 10-foot high basket, and, all of that stuff, and you want to have those moments, but I'm quite a level, steady sort of dude, so for me it'll be very consistent with what we've done all year. Consistency and habits are everything for me, so we'll get in there, we'll talk about our scout, we'll talk about the tempo that we want to play out, we'll talk about how we want to execute different actions, and we'll keep it very much on task. I'd love to have this big movie moment, but the reality is,
Al Pacino.
Yeah, I'd love that Al Pacino moment, but the reality is for me, I keep it, pretty much, and I think in these games you need to keep a little level too. So I don't want to get them too fired up, but it would be good, wouldn't it? It would be good to have that moment, and you just get everyone right, and you run it out, and
we'll see what happens, man. I'll be there on Friday calling it.
Look forward
all the best for it. It's been an incredible season, 15-3 second. It's credit to you, credit to the Wolves organisation. Thanks for sitting down for a chat.
Very happy to be here. Thanks.